Happy Thursday, South Holland. We didn't see each other last week. It was Thanksgiving, and I hope that you did not have to cook, and that your holiday was safe and enjoyable, and that you ate way too much, and that you had a refreshing break from whatever it is that you've been doing, whether that's school or work. By now, you should probably be finished with about all your Thanksgiving leftovers. And maybe you are looking to kind of lighten up your diet a little bit after all of the heavy, like, mashed potatoes and stuffing and turkey and all that good stuff from Thanksgiving. So today we're just doing a really light, really easy soup recipe. If you don't count salt and pepper, it's only 5 ingredients. Today we've got, sorry about the crazy camera work. So it's going to be a chicken soup. So you're going to need a box of chicken broth or chicken stock. Whatever you like. You know that I like doing the low sodium deal. These little pastas. The box, these were on sale at Jewel today. The box says salad macaroni. I've also seen them called ditalini, but really any like little bitty pasta shape. You could use like elbow macaroni or just even like they have little tiny like mostaccioli noodles. Whatever you like, that's small that you might happen to have on hand. You need a half a stick of butter. If you've never noticed this before, by the way, the label on the stick of butter has measurements on it so that you know how many tablespoons or how much of a cup you are using in a recipe. This calls for 4 tablespoons or a quarter cup of butter. And so I just measured it out and cut it there. A half a cup of grated Parmesan cheese and garlic. And that's it. It's almost not more complicated than dumping things into a pot. But it is a little bit more complicated than that. So before we begin, hi, by the way, I'm going to bring us over to the stove top and light it because I did not get a new stovetop since the last time we saw each other. And, whoa, this one is still from the Kennedy administration. So I have to use a match to light my stove. Alright, so that's done. I'm not using a great big pot because I'm not making a great big ton of soup. And the next thing that I'm going to do is grab that butter, because the first thing that we're doing in this soup is melting the butter. I could just throw in this gigantic chunk of butter. I mean, take the paper off first, obviously. I could just put this big old piece of butter in the pot the way it is. But I'm going to cut it up into smaller pieces, just so that it melts a little bit faster. It doesn't matter if it's super like even or anything. I just cut it up into small pieces and dump it straight in the pot. That way it melts faster and we don't have to wait so long for lunch today. The next thing that we're going to do once the butter is melted, and I'll show you what that looks like, because I mean, I know y'all have seen melted butter before. We're going to saute some garlic in this butter. I'll be right back. The dog is asking to come in. Hi, Tucker. Come on in, Tucker. I am saving myself, you can tell, I hope you can hear that it's kind of sizzling a little because it's hot. I'm using jarred, already minced garlic, and I'm saving myself the step of doing that, of mincing it myself. If what you have in your house is like cloves of garlic, then obviously you would need to use a garlic press or a knife and mince that up real good first. I'm sorry. The dog is right underneath my feet. You don't know if you can see that. I'm swirling it around to get it all kind of melted. And so it's now bubbly and liquidy. This recipe calls for between 4 and 6 cloves of garlic. However garlicky you want it. The jar says, it doesn't say how much. Oh, it says 1/2 teaspoon equals approximately a clove of garlic. I'm not using a measuring spoon to measure it out. I'm just kind of eyeballing it. I cook with garlic by feel and not by measurement. And I like a lot of garlic, so I'm putting a bunch in. And I'm only cooking it for like 30 seconds. That's it. Enough to get it a little bit brown. And kind of smelling like garlic butter, like garlic bread, because that's essentially what we just made. Garlic burns really easily. So be really, really careful to not let it get too brown before you start adding the rest of the ingredients, which are, dang it, okay. I've got 32 ounces of broth in this box, and I'm gonna add the whole thing in. The whole box. And when I did that, I turned my heat down to medium. "32 ounces is the same as a quart. So if yours doesn't say that on there, that's fine. 32 ounces and a quart are the same. And so I'm going to give that a stir. And then I'm going to pour in 1.5 cups of my little bitty pastas. And essentially I am cooking the pasta in the broth. But then, so, let me look at my friends. So, you know how you make spaghetti or mastacholi or whatever, noodles, because that's what you're having. And you cook the noodles in the water and then you drain off the water before you put the sauce on and cheese or whatever else that you're eating. So, for this soup, same technique. You are putting your liquid in the pot and you're cooking the noodles in the broth, except we're not draining the liquid off of the noodles. We're just eating them together. The pasta is so tiny, it is appropriate for soup. I'll be back in about 10 minutes. The pasta should be cooked. Just kind of watch yours, depending on the size of it, to see how how chewy or how al dente you like your pasta. I'll see you in about 10 minutes when this is done. Okay, so it's been 10 minutes and I am back, and the soup is, I put it on a low simmer. Mine boiled over just a little bit, and so I turned it all the way down and just kept simmering it. The pasta is, the Italian phrase is al dente, meaning to the tooth. So it's not like, if you pushed a noodle against the roof of your mouth with your tongue, it wouldn't completely like mushify. It would still sort of hold its shape. It's not crunchy or like raw tasting, but it's also not like mushified. It is perfectly to the tooth. Our last ingredient is, hang on just a second. Aside from salt and pepper, of course. Salt and pepper are kind of not ingredients, they just sort of are. Is a half a cup of Parmesan cheese. Whether it's grated or if it looks kind of like mine is sort of like shredded. If yours is more like powdery texture, it's fine, it doesn't matter. This is another one of those, like, if it's a little more or a little less, it's fine. It's no worries. I'm gonna dump the whole, hang on, let me point you at the soup. So that's what it looks like. It looks like chicken soup. And I'm just gonna dump this whole boy straight into the pot and give it a stir so that the cheese gets a little bit melty. And then I'm gonna grate a whole big fat bunch of black pepper in here. It occurred to me, my friends, as I was making this soup, so in Italy, like the city of Rome is sort of known as being like one of the pasta capital, kind of. And there are 5 traditional Roman pastas that that city is particularly known for. And one of them is called Cacio e Pepe. Cacio is cacio, and that means cheese. And the cheese that they mean is Parmesan. Parmesan cheese comes from Parma, a city called Parma, that's near Rome. And Pepe means pepper. So cheese and pepper is the name of this pasta dish. And it's essentially what it sounds like it is. It's not like with some super, like, no tomatoes, no anything like that. It's just butter and Parmesan cheese and black pepper, and that's it. And that's kind of what we're doing with this soup. We're making like a cacio e pepe soup. And it is fantastic. And it's done. Saute some garlic and a half a stick of butter. Add in a box of broth and a cup and a half of pasta. And cook the pasta in the broth. Dump in a half a cup of Parmesan cheese and some pepper, and you're good to go. Sort of a light, quick soup for when you don't want to fuss a lot, don't have a whole lot of time to spend, and it's a little bit kind of nice and light after all the leftover mashed potatoes and stuffings of the past couple of days after Thanksgiving. The next 2 weeks, we're going to do some baking rather than like cooking necessarily. So if you are more about that baking life, the next 2 weeks should be really fun for y'all. I don't want to say anything more, but I hope you'll have fun with it. Until then, have a great week, and I'll see you next Thursday, South Helen. Have a good one.